investments have shorter, period for exits and faster growing speeds and much higher valuation. So I was fascinated by China, China market, and that's.
Hi everyone, this is the Peking University HSBC Business School Entrepreneurship Society. Today we are joined by Mr. Keisuke Yamakoshi, the founder of Covalent Asia Group. So to start, may I ask Mr. Yamakoshi, may you please introduce yourself?
Sure, thank you. Thank you for your time today. So my name is Keisuke Yamakoshi. Normally, everybody just call me K. I studied abroad in the UK and joined an educational startup in the UK. And that startup was exited in 2011 or 12, I can't remember, to a Japanese group called Recruit. And at that point, I moved on to a Silicon Valley headquartered venture capital, and that firm, well, I can give you a little bit more detail later. And that firm, 70% of their investments goes into China market. So, that's why I had much more interest in China market and studied a business in China. So yeah, that's a brief introduction. Thank you for your time today. Yeah.
I see. Thank you. So you mentioned you started a business in China. May I ask more about your business and also why you decide to base it in China?
Sure. So initially, what we studied was a financial, fintech startup. We created a platform to match small, medium-sized corporations have financial needs with financial advisors on the platform. So, the advisors can help SMBs to raise money, to receive investments. And if the deal, gets done, then both the advisor and the platform will split the successful fee. So that was the business model we studied initially. But to be honest, it was quite difficult because a lot of financial advisors, they tend to bring the deal offline. It's very hard to track. And as you know, the financial projects tend to have very long cycle time. So that's the reason why we gradually shift the platform towards advisor model. So ourselves, we are doing financial advisory services to small, medium-sized companies. At the same time, because my first job after graduating from university was was a consultant at Deloitte. So I gathered some of my friends, to start Covalent Asia Group. So at the moment, our group provides 4 service lineups. The first one is, obviously consulting, and the second one is financial advisory, and the third one is research service, and the fourth is like, investments and like trading service. So bring startups and advanced technologies into Japan market from China, from other markets, or help Japanese technology companies to go other markets, something like that. Yeah.
I see. That certainly sounds very exciting. So I want to ask on your last point. I think it's quite unique. So may I ask, what is the sort of greatest opportunities that you see right now for cross-border business between Japan and China?
Mm-hmm. And sorry, maybe I should add a little bit more for the question, one question before. So during my venture capital year in China, as I mentioned, 70% of the investments go into China markets. So we had comparisons between China startups and US startups and Japan and Japanese startups. The growing speed is much faster in China market. So that's why investments have shorter period for exits and faster growing speeds and much higher valuation. So I was fascinated by China, China market, and that's the major reason why I wanted to start something in China. That's some additional information for why I'm so interested in China market. And then recently, well, because there are some conflicts and difficulties between US market and China markets. So I think as the third largest economy, the Japan market, there are huge potential between China and Japan again. I think, and although we see difficulties between these two markets as well, but recently the investment amount, investment numbers between two markets, and especially because SoftBank has very successful investment track record in China market, so that's showed the potential and led other Japanese corporations to increase their appetites to invest in China market. So we see huge potential here, and we receive a lot of inquiries from our consulting clients on market research of China market, Chinese startups, etc. So, and I think this trend will keep growing for at least next 10 to 20 years. So yeah.
I see. One question I have. So if let's say a China startup wants to expand to Japan, how does Covalent Asia Group, how do you support that startup to get to China?
So actually, during my VC years, we helped Chinese portfolios to enter other markets as an investment team member. So after I left the venture capital, I still, keep the relationships, the networks with startups, etc. So if they have needs to enter Japan market or other markets like Korean markets or US market, so we help them to connect, for example, with Japanese investors. So they can receive local money and they can receive local support, not only from us, but from local, investors, as well as because we also have client base from our consulting service, large corporations. So we can also introduce those large corporations to the startups for their business partnerships or, or directly as their clients to implement their technologies or tools, etc. Yeah, so we fully utilize our networks in Japan to support global startups and or advanced technology companies to enter Japan market. Yeah.
I see. So it sounds like Covalent has a very wide network of not only investors but also clients. Yeah, I see. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. So today is just a short interview. I'd like to thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you. No problem.